Hey everyone, Derek here from WayScript. In this one, let's take a look at how we can create a web scraper that stores information, and then we can display a dashboard using that information. Let's get started. Starting out, if we want to create that dashboard, we need to use an HTTP trigger to get a URL to host it on, and a dashboard response. We'll also be building out a chart, so we can use a chart module to do that. So the idea here is that we create a chart using our information, and then we pass it to our dashboard response, which is then hosted at this URL. Now we just need to web scrape that data. To do web scraping, there's a lot of different ways and programming languages that you can do it, but I'll use Python for this example. So we'll click on our Python module and enter the code mode. From here, I already have some typed up, so we'll just use this. What we're doing, speaking through this very quickly, is going to this URL and getting ticker information for the Apple stock. Once we get that information, we're changing it to a number, and then we're writing that value back to WayScript as this market cap variable. So let's go ahead and run this, and we'll see that variable pop up down here in the bottom left, which we do. Now that we have that variable, let's go ahead and pull in a datetime module. That way we know what date we got that information. Next, we just need to store that information somewhere so we can read and write to the same data source. I'll use Google Sheets for this example, but soon you'll be able to use a file within WayScript itself. I'll select the write file mode, and then I'll choose Setup Write. I have two items, one being the datetime date, and the second one being the market cap. Once we have those, we can choose the file to write to, and then the sheet. So far, we're writing that information, but now we need to read it in so we can create our chart. So we'll bring in a second Google Sheets module and then select that same file where we'll import our two columns, and I will ignore the headers in this example. We see that those now populate down here, and we can create our chart using these list values. We'll do that in the chart module where I'll select a line chart. I'll choose my x-axis as that date from that Google Sheet and that market cap. We see that our graph is populated down here, and now we can pass that on to our dashboard response. And then we can change the title to something like Apple Market Cap Daily. Once we have that, we just need to turn on our HTTP trigger, and then we can go and check it out. Once here, we see that we get the chart populated just like how we expected. However, we're not doing anything fancy right now on our WayScript program. We're just going and getting this information every time that a user goes to this trigger. So if you want to automatically get this information daily, what we can do is actually add on a second trigger. So we can add on a time trigger along with our HTTP trigger, and we can select to run this every day, and we can choose the time. Activating that, now our function will execute every time someone goes, and at least once daily. There's a lot more possibilities that we could do with this script too. I'll show you those very briefly. We could create another function and actually move our HTTP trigger over here, so we're not executing each time someone visits, but rather only once daily. Additionally, we could also add more functions to get more values from any source that we wanted to using web scraping. Then we could pass those all to the same chart and put it all on the same dashboard response. I hope you see just how powerful WayScript is whenever creating these types of applications. If you have any questions or comments, as always, please let us know and we'll help you out. Until next time.